So one of the many projects I haven't yet to get around to is dealing with this pile of concrete from the barn. There's still a bunch more of it that has to be picked up around the foundation, just around this coop here. But essentially what the plan here is, this area tends to be very prone to flooding. Just based on the way the earth is set up here, it's very low, and with the field next door, I don't have anything but trouble. And as soon as this ground gets wet, getting anything in and out of the barn becomes a problem because of the mud. So I think in order to gain access better to the barn, what I'd like to do is essentially extend the driveway. So I figured that burying this concrete where I'd like to put a driveway would probably be an easy way to get rid of it. Put it underground, put gravel on top, and then make this driveway kind of continue on toward the barn. So that's my intention. What I'm gonna have to do is put the charger on the backhoe. Right now it's on the blazer, and then we can get the backhoe fired up and see if we're gonna have any luck today getting to work. First I've got to stake out my driveway, but we'll start by putting the charger on this thing and go from there. Well, maybe we've got a decent charge here, so we might get lucky when we're ready to start it up. Let's go stake out where we're going to park this driveway. Alright, so we are just a little bit over 12 feet wide. That's what I'm proposing for the width. That's wide enough to drive the backhoe down. That's kind of the intention, so I'd have enough room to move that thing up and down from the barn. I've taken some yellow spray paint. I know that's meant for gas line marking. And I've made my first line. And then the second line's going to be somewhere over here, kind of in line with that white post up ahead, which is actually old curtain rod that was destined for the trash. Happens to make an excellent marker, and it's already got a nice plastic cap on the lid, so it's safe if you fall on it. But anyways, the second line is gonna basically take off straight that way and pick up where we started. I think that's gonna be wide enough. I mean, it's always easier to start with a size and kind of try to follow that line, and if I have to make it bigger, I'll make it bigger. This lets me keep the fire pit where it is and not have to move it. And then all the excavation I have to do, all the soil is gonna probably go over this way in the area of this tree and in this spot here, because this is very low and I always get flooding. I mean, I'm sure you could see right now, this is all mud, nice and soft. So when I drive the backhoe through here, I'm gonna be making some pretty aggressive ruts, which is kind of unavoidable, but it is what it is. So I have half of it marked. I'm gonna kind of spray some lines on the second half of it and see where that gets me, what that looks like, and then we'll start the machine up, I suspect, and probably start scraping some dirt, seeing what we can find. So I think it's pretty easy to say that we've got some really sticky dirt out here. Very soft ground too. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful here and hope that if I get hung up, I can at least use the bucket to get myself out. Should be able to, but I'm gonna keep scraping. I wanna go down about 12 inches, enough to bury that concrete and then put gravel on top. So I definitely have some work cut out for me to get to that point, but I'm just gonna keep on picking away at it, and we'll update in a little while when I either break something or get totally stuck. Wish me luck. So rather than continuously driving through the mud and potentially getting stuck, I'm gonna have to use this dirt anyway to fill this low area. So it made sense to me to start using the rear arm on the backhoe, and I've been basically scraping the dirt and trying to start a pile sort of in front of the fire pit area. And I should be able to use the bit of dry land that's over here to kind of pull this along and lay it out where I want it. But I've got a lot of scraping to do, and I think once I get past the topsoil, that's when I find the clay. It's about 12 inches. At that point, I should be able to drive on it without getting stuck as bad as I was. But we're just going to keep picking away at it and go from there. Alright, so here's the progress so far. It's hard to tell in the video, but line to line, that's 12 feet wide. And I've started scraping. I'm close to 12 inches in some spots, but it's just I have to get rid of this topsoil before I can drive here because it's just too darn soft. Once I get down a little further, we've got some clay here, and that gets nice and stiff, so driving on that won't be a problem. And that'll give me plenty of real estate to bury all that stuff. So like I said, I started using the back bucket here, and I've had a lot more luck being able to move quite a bit of soil here so far. Lunchtime now, so we're gonna give it a break, let it rest for a few, and we'll probably come back out and hit it up again. I'm not sure if you could see what I was seeing there, but it looked like a little bit of smoke coming off the machine. So I took a look there, and it looks like I got a coolant leak coming from the upper rad hose there. Looks like it's spraying up onto the hood area there. So I shut the machine down as soon as I saw that, and I got to check the level and find out if there's still coolant in it. Hopefully so. It was running good, but of course none of the gauges work, so I have no way to tell what's in it or not. I think this is a rad cap here, but obviously I gotta wait for this to cool down before I touch anything. Or it wasn't even on. It wasn't even closed. So it won't build any pressure that way. That's for sure. Okay. Suppose I'll be adding some coolant here and see what's happening. All right, good news. I had about 1/3 a bottle of concentrated coolant. So I poured that in the rad. Now I'm going to top it up with water. And hopefully that'll be enough to not break this thing. I'm going to have to check that gear clamp. It looks like it's leaking from, I don't know if the hose blew out or if the clamp is just loose. We'll figure it out either way. Beautiful. So the system wasn't totally empty. That was about half a bottle of water. So say I put 3 liters back in there. That's okay by me. So far I've managed to effectively destroy the yard. I know this is getting worse before it gets better. That's pretty standard. I think we're supposed to have a few more days here where it's halfway decent, so this will dry up a little bit. And I'll keep working on it. Definitely will. Unfortunately for today, I have to stop. It's just about 4:30 on Sunday. But as per usual with the old monster machine, I always happen to have some form of an issue. The coolant leak doesn't look like it's gotten any worse. However, I blew another hydraulic line, which is kind of par for the course here. It's this line that runs to the back excavator, and should be able to get one replaced here. I don't know if this is a return line or what. It's got a funny elbow in it. Anyway, doesn't feel very thick, to be truthful. I don't even know where it goes, actually. If I can get down in there. It's definitely one of those, so. Alright, we'll make it work. No big deal. It's not that it's a problem, it's just another hurdle. And typically, that's how life goes. It's never exactly how you plan it or how you want it to go. You kind of just got to roll along with the punches and make do with what you got. So, at least it ain't snowing. All right, folks, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time around.